Well, here we go. I wanted to get a video put together about this story about this buck I called Bout Twelm that I killed just yesterday morning. And kind of a spoiler alert, I don't have video footage of the kill shot. It was in the morning. In fact, I had to check my phone just to make sure it was legal. There's some footage with the GoPro, but it's awful. It's poor footage, and I'll show a little bit of it. But it's not the greatest. But I want to put the story together on how I killed this buck. Wishbone and I have permission to hunt this farm about 10 miles from us, and we got 2 pictures of this buck. I want to say one was in late August of this year, and then we got another picture in early October. And then we hadn't seen this buck. We had never had an encounter with it, never got another picture of it until, and I got some notes here, the 12th of November. I had a pretty good encounter with this buck with a hot doe. So let's take a look at that footage real briefly. So with a lot of the different target bucks around the house getting shot or dying of natural causes, I talked about this in an early video. Worm is dead, Kaminsky's dead, Pickett's dead. I just thought that I really wanted to hunt this Bout Twelm buck. I already had an encounter with him. I knew he was a big buck. And I told Amy, or actually Amy and I were brainstorming, on that farm we have one really good stand set up for a southeast wind. A lot of the deer that we see come by this stand with a southeast wind, but we didn't have a really good stand set up for like a west or a northwest, and we saw a lot of west and northwest winds coming in the forecast. So on the 19th of November, Amy had a doctor's appointment, and I decided that I was going to go pull a stand on our neighbors. It's kind of an observation set, and I was going to go put it on this farm. So on the 19th, I hung a new stand on there that's set up on an inside corner, and there's a bunch of ditch crossings in that corner. And then on the 21st of November, we got 2 more pictures of this big buck. One he's in a scrape, he's working the scrape pretty good, and the other one he's face on in the camera. And you can see he's a pretty good buck. He's a big one. So all I needed to do then was I need to get in there with a west wind, northwest wind, something out of the west. And this stand I put in, I don't have a ton of confidence because I had to sneak in and hang the stand and get out. But my thought process is if I can just see this buck, maybe move the stand a little bit, maybe call him in, something where I can get a shot at this deer. So it's the evening of 11/22, and I actually see this buck, November 22nd. I'm facing, in the stand, I'm facing north, and the buck actually came out behind me to my right, and was working this cornfield, and there was does out on that cornfield, and he could care less. It's like he was on the backside of this peak breeding. I talk about this a lot. Once that peak breeding is done, there's possibly some does coming in heat on the backside, but it seems like that really heavy seeking and chasing phase kind of collapses pretty quick. These bigger bucks, if there's not a hot doe right there, it seems like they can sense that they're run down and they really start to feed heavy. There's some pretty good rut activity yet. A lot of these bucks are expanding home ranges and they're looking for hot does that are coming in heat, but they also go back to a real heavy feeding pattern. I've seen this more than once, and that's what he was doing on the evening of November 22nd. So we have this group text with a couple of our friends, Wishbone and I do, in the area. And every night we say, hey, I was hunting this type of scenario and this is what I saw. And one of my good friends asked, after I told him about this encounter with this Bout Twelm buck, he said, hey, if you see this buck and he gets in range, are you going to take him? Yes, yeah, I'm going to take this buck. So my decision, or my thought process is that buck that evening, was feeding out in that corn. He was heading north. He went down over this hill, and there's actually a pretty thick draw out to the north. It's a really thick draw. My thought process is, unless he picks up a hot doe, unless there's some reason for him to leave that area, I'm hoping he beds in that draw for the evening, gets up for his morning feeding cycle, and then comes right back the way he came for his daytime bedding. That's kind of my shot in the dark. So I got in there, I'm getting all my stuff ready, it's dark, and I see deer coming up over that hill on that cornfield, and he's one of them. He's one of the bucks. So now I hit the GoPro, and you'll see my video editing software, I was able to kind of brighten it up a little bit, but it's right at sunrise. It actually looks to me like there's more light than what there really is. Camera's picking up a decent amount of light coming off that cornfield. And I'll show some of this footage, but it's not very good. Well, here we go. Finally settled down. The sun's coming up. Enough where I can do this short interview. I saw Bout Twelm last night from this same stand. He came out from my southeast. Came out in this corn. And he went down over this hill and he went north. So I thought maybe this morning I'd get right back in this same stand. The winds are supposed to be variable this morning. So I thought maybe the thermals would help me out. Right when I got on stand, I mean literally right when I got on stand, it was still dark. I saw deer coming up over the hill. I don't know if you guys can see this. Right back over that hill, cornfield. And put my binoculars on them, on the deer, and it was this buck Bout Twelm. He come down along the edge here. I forgot the camera arm today for the video camera, and it wouldn't have mattered. It was just too dark. In fact, I had to look at my phone to see if we were even legal. And I think when I first saw those deer, it was actually too dark. It wasn't even legal yet. But they came right through here. That buck did. He was by himself when he came through. I don't remember exactly what happened. I know I stopped him a couple times and drew back. Couldn't get a shot. And he ended up kind of walking away from me, and I grunted at him a couple times. And he came right down over here. That's got to be about an 8-yard shot. I thought the hit was high, but I saw him run off and go down. And I got my binoculars on him a few minutes ago, and he's down. His head is down from what I could tell. But I think the hit was high. The GoPro was running. I looked at the footage. It's dark. You can't see anything. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait an hour. I'm going to head out this way, the opposite way of the deer. Go get Wishbone, and we'll come back. I'm sure he's down, but I thought the hit was high, so I just want to give him a couple hours just in case. But holy cow, Bout Twelm. He's a target buck on this farm. He's a big buck. He's got 6 on his right, 5 on his left, and I think he's got some stickers and stuff off of his brow tines. So yeah, we'll get after him here in a bit. Well, I got Wishbone. We got the Ranger. We're gonna head out. Hopefully it's laying right where I last saw it.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
He always puts good shots on me, not so much.
Well, we'll see what happens here. Okay, here we go. We're gonna see if he's laying right where I last saw him.
He will be.
I'm gonna show you these big rubs on these fence posts. Tree stands right in here. It's crazy how they're rubbing these fence posts. Coyotes got to him already.
You're kidding. Oh my gosh. What in the world? This has been like a half hour.
It's been a couple hours, but something digging on him already.
Wow. Good job, hon. Absolute perfect. He's a big guy.
That shot ain't bad.
No, it's great.
That's where it came out.
Good job, sweetheart.
That's perfect where it came. I don't know where it went in, but boy, wow. That's a big buck, huh?
He is a big one. Wow. Absolutely huge.
Oh boy.
Gosh, he didn't go far either, did he?
No, I can see the stand from here.
Let's see if I can see it. I don't know. This is a new stand. I've never gone here.
No,
so
I'll focus in on it. See the sticks going up. So my stand is, I'm really pumped up, but I want to show you guys what I'm hunting here. My stand is 80 or 100 yards over that way. And I set this stand up to take, this is an inside corner here and a big heavy ditch. And I just want to show you these ditch crossings. Just come up here and show them this. So this is a big, deep ditch drainage here. And these ditch crossings are where they're gonna cross. So we always talk about fence jumps and ditch crossings, etc. Inside corners. These deer are using this ditch crossing. Well, here we are. Got Bout Twelm this morning. I want to do a little hero interview. I set up a new tree stand right in here a couple days ago. This is my third encounter with this buck, but there was not a good way. We have a really good stand, Wishbone and I do, for our southeast sit, but nothing for a west, northwest, anything out of the west. We're kind of don't have a good spot. So I came in here the other day, did a little bit of scouting, and I hung this tree stand, and I got him this morning. Last night I actually saw this buck come out on this corn, went over the hill at quitting time. So I was hoping this morning he'd come back through on that bed to feed pattern. So the prime breeding is over and we're on this back side of breeding, and it just collapsed. And this buck was, he wasn't even looking for does last 2 times I saw him, last night and then this morning. But big rubs all along this edge, really nice fence jump back in here, and pretty happy with this buck, huh, Wishbone? Very nice. Of course, he put a good shot on it too, as you can see. It went in kind of high on this side, but the exit wound was good. And unfortunately, we didn't get the shot on film, but he stopped him twice with his little mrr. Yeah. I guess I need to learn how to do the mrr. I had to stop him 2 or 3 times, ended up grunting him in right at sunrise. So, yeah, good way to... Pretty cool. Good way to get an arrow in this guy. Yeah, really nice buck. I want to leave with one final thought about killing these big mature bucks. There really is 3 things you need to kill a big mature buck on a consistent basis. And the first is They have to be there. You have to be hunting in an area where there's, you know, a few nice big mature bucks that you can hunt. The second thing you need is you have to have at least a little bit of, at least in my opinion, you have to have at least a little bit of woodsmanship skills, a little bit of skill that you can get in and out without bumping these deer. You're a decent shot, etc., etc. The third thing you need is time. So we're looking at, you know, this is the last part of November. I've been hunting now for about 50 days. I probably have, including mornings, 60 or 65 hunts under my belt this year. So there's not too many hunters probably watching this video that can say, yeah, I can hunt 60 different sits throughout the archery season. And Wishbone and I can both do that, so we're very fortunate that we're able to do that. So I just want to be honest and upfront about that one of the keys to killing these big deer every single year is you just have to have the time. If I would have had only a week or two this year, I probably never would have killed that deer. It's just, in fact, a couple of weeks ago I was telling Amy, hey, we got 3 weeks left. If I sit mornings and evenings in the next 3 weeks, I have 40 sits. I have 40 hunts left. So even though it seems like the season's getting toward the end, you know, a little anxiety, am I going to get one or not? I still have 40 sits left. How many hunters can say that? So I just wanted to be open and honest about that. So thanks for watching. Bout Twelm, big, massive 13-pointer. I hope you liked the video.